Okay.
Would you join me for the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Father, help us to be receptive to the thoughts and challenges that come to us through prayer, through the printed page, and from the world around us, and help our leaders to find the best solutions to the problems that we face. We ask this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, this is to announce that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided. Also pursuant to the 2014 bylaws, rules, and regulations of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Burlington, time shall be set aside on the agenda for the receipt of public comments. Public comments will be received with respect to agenda items prior to board consideration of resolutions to be adopted. An additional opportunity for public comment will occur later in the meeting. Public comment shall be limited to 5 minutes per speaker. Unused time may not be transferred to another speaker. Persons may speak once per public comment period. I direct the Deputy Clerk to enter into the minutes of this meeting this public announcement and the advance written notice of this meeting. Freeholder Belgard.
Here.
Freeholder Donnelly.
Here.
Freeholder Schwartz.
Here.
And Director Gargano.
Here. I'm looking for a motion for the approval of the regular meeting of August 27th and the conference meeting of August 13th.
So moved.
Motion by Freeholder Donnelly, second.
Second.
Freeholder Schwartz, questions or additions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain from August 13th conference meeting.
And one abstention as noted. We'll move on to our proclamation for Constitution Week. Roberta? I'm going to go through this proclamation, and then if you'd like to say a few words, you can. This is a proclamation of the Burlington County Board of Chosen Freeholders. Whereas September 17, 2014 marks the 226th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States of America by the Constitutional Convention, and whereas it is fitting and proper to accord official recognition to this magnificent document, its memorable anniversary, and to the patriotic celebrations which will commemorate the occasion, and whereas Public Law 915 guarantees the issuing of a proclamation each year by the President of the United States of America designating September 17th through 23rd as Constitutional Week, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Burlington hereby proclaim the week of September 17th through the 23rd, 2014 as Constitution Week, and urge all citizens to study the Constitution and reflect on the privilege of being an American with all the rights and responsibilities which that privilege involves.
Thank you very much. The Daughters of the American Revolution thank the Burlington County Board of Chosen Freeholders for doing this proclamation. It is very important that we all study our Constitution in this age when there are so many challenges against the Constitution, that we know what we're about and all our rights and privileges. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, in addition, right.
So at this point, we'll move on to public comments on our agenda items. This first public comment is just on our agenda. Toward the end of the meeting, we'll be able to have a comment on any of the other issues you might want to discuss if it's not an agenda item. We have Blackwell Albertson.
Good evening, members of the Board of Freeholders. My name is Blackwell Albertson. I am tax assessor in Eastern Township in Fairfield Borough. I am also the president of the Association of Municipal Assessors of Burlington County. I'm here to request that you table consideration of resolution number H5 relating to shared service agreement with Monmouth County for consulting services for the implementation and management of a real property assessment demonstration program for the Department of Finance and Administration. The Association of Municipal Assessors has yet to pass a resolution agreeing to participate in this program. So it would appear to me that any contract or agreement relative to the same is premature. It should also be stated that until it is agreed to participate and the committee is established that would create the program, it's really unknown what services outside of those presently available to the Board of Taxation and to each municipality is not really known yet. We don't know if we need any assistance from outside to assist in implementation of the program. It was somewhat stated that a contract in such regard has existed for a while, and when we requested a copy of the contract, we were told that none exists because we're trying to discern our costs, our municipality's costs, and we were hoping that we could glean some information from this contract, which I believe is one that was discussed, so that we could have formal communication with our municipalities and make sure that it was in the best interest of all parties involved to participate in this program. I'm just asking that until such time that the Assessors Association decides whether to participate and the Board of Taxation makes a similar resolution, that this resolution, this contract, be tabled until such time as that's completed. I fully expect that our association will take formal action in this matter next Thursday night. So we're not really asking that you wait a whole lot of time, but we are asking that you table this until the appropriate time. Thank you.
If I may. Sir? Sir? Sir?
Yes.
You represent your association. What specific concerns do you have to present to us?
Say again?
You represent your association.
The association.
What specific concerns do you have to present to us?
We don't know what's in the contract, plus we have not agreed to participate in the program yet.
I mean, I have to be honest, we're most concerned about the governing bodies
Absolutely.
being interested in participating. I mean, you know, they're the constituents that we serve. This agreement, to my understanding, simply allows us to, it's actually not a contract. All it is a shared service agreement that allows us to enter into an agreement with Monmouth County to start the process of planning for this program.
The process of planning would take place through the committee that would be established under the law. That committee includes representatives of the Division of Taxation, the Board of Taxation, and the Assessors Association. They would create the plan. And after such time as that plan is created, then the implementation would be overseen by the Board of Taxation.
That's correct. So again, what specific concerns do you have?
What's covered under the contract?
Crasson.
What's it going to cost? What's it going to cost?
There's no cost to us.
What does the county believe needs to be considered through an outside source, being Monmouth County, that we would not be able to clearly glean from the members that would be on that committee? Why would it be necessary for somebody outside of our body to participate in these considerations?
I think for a lot of reasons. Most specifically, do you have any statistics with you?
Well, the shared service agreement that is being proposed for consideration is really to help guide the Freehold Board in assisting municipalities once the program moves forward. Of course, it has to start with a vote. My understanding also that on April 23rd, it was our understanding that your organization did take a vote in the affirmative, and due to somewhat of a housekeeping item, a resolution wasn't passed at that time, and that actually is what's coming before you to approve next week. But this shared service agreement, again, it's really to assist this board with aiding the process, and Monmouth County is the county that really helped to develop this particular pilot program. And it was felt that who better to go to should the board need some consultation in addition to the tax board, in addition to yourself, and that was the purpose for the shared service agreement.
Mr. Crescent, can I ask you a question while you're there? Because I know we talked about this in conference, and one of the things that had come up during the conference meeting was that this shared services agreement would just be sort of the process to kind of look at this program, to start the conversation with the municipalities about this program, see if they're interested, and sort of get their buy-in. Now, does this shared services agreement actually implement the program as well, or is this just like a fact-seeking and an informational shared services agreement?
Yeah, the shared
Now
service
they're
agreement
saying they
does
didn't
not
know, they
implement
don't
the
understand.
program. As the gentleman had stated, it starts with the Board of Assessors. There's then a committee that is formed, and it's really governed by a statute, that specific committee. So this particular shared service agreement does not
Bind.
constitute the board's enacting this demonstration program. It's more of providing consultation to the board so that if it does get rolled out, the program, you'll be in a better position to have conversations with municipalities.
Well, then let me ask you this. Will this board, not the board, but this committee that's created, will they be coming back before this board to actually seek approval or vote to implement this program, or that's just done unilaterally by this committee?
My understanding is that once the resolution taken by the assessors is passed, it then goes to the tax board, for the tax board to take a formal vote. And at that point, the committee is actually formed. Best of my understanding, it doesn't come to this specific board for any kind of approvals going forward.
Any other?
Yes, I have a question. Will this result in any layoffs in any of our municipalities or in any of our county employees? I know I asked that in conference, but I would like to get that on the record.
Yeah, as was stated in conference, no, it's not anticipated that there's any layoffs as a result.
Or loss of work for any of our
That's correct.
employees? Or tax assessors?
That is what we were told.
Okay. I think I had one more question. Can the towns can they opt in or opt out, or is it wall to wall? I know we discussed that also, but on the record.
You know, I'm not really the expert with that, and that's again one of the reasons why we were looking to enter into the shared service, so you can have a first-hand source to get the correct and accurate information as this process goes forward.
And I'm wondering what you all think about having the gentleman who gave the presentation to us in conference come back and give a presentation to the general public? Is that an option?
I believe that as part of the process that was followed by Monmouth County, there was significant community outreach in that process, and part of what was contemplated as the shared service was to help the board develop that specific outreach to the general public and as well as to the municipalities.
But how about for the purpose of allowing folks in this setting? No, and I'm wondering if given the information that we just received and the fact that we don't have a presentation as in-depth as we did in our conference meeting, I'm wondering if perhaps it would warrant tabling this until after they have their meeting and perhaps allowing the public to hear a little bit more of what we heard with the presentation that was presented to us 2 weeks ago in conference.
I don't have a problem with that.
Okay. So do we need to make a motion for that?
No, actually, I haven't made a motion to put it on, so we have to make a motion to table, even though it's not on the agenda, so
Okay.
I'll pull it up.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Janet Kern,
I'm sorry, I'm at the end.
you're at the end, okay. Mr. Blanes, at the end, and Mr. Schick?
At the end.
Okay. All right, anyone else? Agenda items?
Yes. For you, from the Freeholder Burlington, I have 4
question. For number 810, 812, can you clarify for me?
I'm sorry, could you say that again, Louis? Number what?
810, 812.
H10 is it's the suppression system for IT. There's different types of systems you have to have on that type of electronic equipment, and that's an upgrade to that. It's the purchase, the design, and supply. 12.
My mistake, will be 11. Why so much in GPS hardware?
Yeah, if you could. I would imagine it's for the GPS of the maps and things, but if you could.
It is. Basically, these units are used to help in the mapping with their GPS units. Basically, they allow the GIS people to travel out, obtain latitude, longitude with accuracy between 1 to 3 feet, and input descriptive information that we observe about features in the field. Basically, it enhances the information gathered by our GIS folks in information processing.
The latitude is 25, 26.
This is good. Thank you for asking about this. This is the county applying back to the state for $650,000, which will be used in reimbursements of farmland that's already purchased. It's the state's cost share.
And then number 26.
26 is a $350,000 increase to a contract for a road program at a circle up in the northern part of the county, which is fully funded by the federal government, I think it was through. So it's basically, it's in addition to the contract, but it's all dollars that it's 100% covered.
And is this that circle where the terrible
Where the
bus
accident
accident
was,
happened?
yes.
Yeah, you might remember that. That's where that terrible school bus accident happened a couple years ago.
And more specifically, this is work that the DOT asked the county to complete. Once the contract is over, since the DOT is funding it, we agreed, and hence the change order, correct?
That's correct. That's correct. Number 20 has to do with my iPad, right?
That one?
Yeah.
No, that one's not the button. 27.
Has to do with the iPad, right?
Oh, yeah, it does. I know what he's talking about.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, in Burlington Township.
Yeah, in the township part of it, 541.
Yeah, okay.
I'll
Sure.
hold it to the end.
Okay. Anyone else? Seeing none, we'll move on to resolutions. I'd like to make a motion that we would approve items H1 through H4 and H6 through H19.
Second.
Motion by Gargano, second by Donnelly. Questions?
I have a couple of questions,
All righty.
not surprisingly. If we can start with H1. All right. Mr. Troy, this might be a record for my least amount of questions so far on bills. On page 15, I just need to note that I need to recuse myself with regard to Camden County College. Page 55, there's an entry there for Pinnacle Towers, $3,232 for rent. Can you tell me what exactly we're renting
Space on the tower for our
It's a
radios.
space on a tower.
for our radios?
Yes.
Great, thank you. And then page 68, there's an entry there for T&M Associates, $2,120, and it's just, the only entry that I saw there was contracts payable. Can you tell me what that is for?
This is engineering on Bridge D4.81 Crispin Road in Lumberton.
Okay, that is all that I have on H1.
Okay.
Mind if I move on to the next?
Please
I
do.
have a question also. On page 25, it says one toilet, is that correct? One toilet partition for BCDC for over $12,000? Is that how much a toilet partition costs?
Yes, I think this had to do with, it's not a jail, is it?
It says BCDC,
no.
Burlington County.
No, yeah, but just so it's clear, it's not, the line item is one, but it's toilet partitions for
Oh, it says- okay.
BCDC.
So hopefully there's more.
There are several.
Thank you, that's what I wanted to know.
That's just the first line of the PO.
Okay.
Good?
Yep.
Okay.
All right. The next one is H6, resolution authorizing the award and/or rejection of contracts. I had a couple questions. Mr. Schroyer, are these, should this be directed to you as well?
Yes.
Yes, Freeholders.
Okay. There was a contract on there for, with regard to geothermal services. Can you just describe for me what that is? Just briefly, oh,
It's cool.
yeah.
The Mercy Services Training Center is heated and cooled using the geothermal system, and it's pretty intricate and requires specialized maintenance.
Okay, so this is for the maintenance of
It's
that?
groundwater. We actually
have to
heat
treat
and
the
cool the building with groundwater.
Yeah. Oh, I understand.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
understand
okay.
geothermal. I was just wondering what we were using it for, because it is pretty cool that
Yeah.
we can use that type of technology. I just didn't know where or how we were using it, so.
It's ESTC.
Okay, great, thank you. I think that's all that I have on H6. And then if I may move along just to H9.
Okay.
So this is the First Amendment to an agreement with pesticide extermination. I was just wondering, I guess we're including 3 additional sites. Do we know where and what the cost of this is?
I mean, we're all over the place with these. I don't know exactly those 3 additional sites, but I can get them for you.
Okay, how about, do you know the cost for this amendment?
I do not know it specifically. No, I
Like,
do not know.
Do you have a ballpark?
They're hundreds of dollars, because they come in differently at different places. You know, they exterminate all the facilities, and depends on what they're looking for. But each treatment is a treatment,
Okay.
$100.
So you're talking
$200.
hundreds, not thousands?
Hundreds.
Yeah.
$15 more per month.
Okay.
It's in the resolution.
And that's great. And I think that is all I had for those. Let me just double check. That's all I have on those. Thank you.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Freeholder Bellegarde?
Great. At this time, I would like to move for unanimous consent of items H20 through H22.
Second?
Motion by Freeholder Bellegarde, second by Freeholder Donnelly. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Freeholder Donnelly?
Thank you, Director. At this time, I move for unanimous consent of resolution items number H23 through H25.
Motion by Freeholder Donnelly, second.
Second.
Freeholder Bellegarde. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? And then I will move Freeholder Howarth's I'd like to make a motion to approve H26 through H29.
Second?
Motion by Freeholder Gargano, second by Freeholder Donnelly. Questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Questions from the press? Okay. Public comment, we'll go Janet Kern?
Janet Curran, 123 Main Street, Rancocas, West Hampton Township. I had a couple things I wanted to bring to your attention tonight. I've missed very much coming to Freeholders meetings, which I attended many years ago. And there certainly had to be a story in the Burlington County Times on the Centerton Bridge. This was an issue with me many years ago when I came. I have been able to see what the bridge looks like underneath. I've been there when they have opened the bridge to inspect it. Actually, an engineer had spoke to me at one time when I was there. The first bridge was built in the early 1800s, and it was built mainly because there were barges that used to come up the river to bring supply in. Was the only way that we could get supply to the area where Rancocas Village and most of West Hampton exists now. The bridge that you had in the newspaper was in, I believe, 1929. I believe that the bridge again was 1950, I'm going to say 1959 when it was last had construction done to it. We know how bad the bridge is. I like to give these to you to look at. The one in the Star Ledger from 1947 will show you, and I have the complete story about this bridge. I did my own, when Mr. Crusoe and the other freeholders were here, I did my own traffic study on the people that cross that bridge and where they're coming from and where they're going. And there's no need for anyone to use that bridge. It was supposed to be closed when 295 came in. Never was. We never found out. I had many freeholders, besides Mr. Crusoe, try to help me to find out the reason why it was not closed. It's a lot of traffic, traffic jams in the morning, at nighttime, frequent accidents at that intersection, which mostly every township deals with frequent accidents. Why? Because everyone's in a hurry. But also I would like to ask you, connecting this, somehow closing it and making it into a walking path, bicycle path, for whatever plans that you have in the future for the Rolling property, which is somewhere that I grew up in the area, I know the area, and I can give you as much history as Teacher Nora back there can from West Hampton. So I just appreciate if you would take that in respect. I know someone had said the last time that the bridge is used for emergency vehicles. There's no need for any emergency vehicles to use that bridge the way 295 was designed.
Right. Yes, please.
And if you'd like to see the whole story, I would be glad to get it to you.
Mr. Balanos.
Mr. Balanos, 604 Drive, West Hampton. I'm here today because I don't know if you got one in the front there. I went to that meeting with the church requesting to use that building for a church. We already got 2 churches there. And I'd like to know if I can have that, will you help have this building for the old soldier home? At the same time, we can use probably half for people that they need a place to go. We can use that building instead of having another church there. You told me one time that you can was asking for a piece of land by the memorial that I built there. And you told me I can't have it because the West Hampton, we got too much traffic there. And I know right now we got a lot of traffic, but if we got another church in there, that's gonna be worse. And I just wonder, is it possible for the freeholders to see if we can get that property for our people? Right now they do. Also the home, we don't have one. And I like to have one there, and I want to share that building is possible with some people that they don't got no place to go, homeless. That's why I'm here tonight. I'd like to hear from you on this.
All right, I would just, Mr. Balanos, I mean, this is a privately owned building that's being, I guess, being purchased by the church that has to go before the local planning boards and zoning boards to make sure. I'm not sure how we get into the middle of a private deal that's already going through the approval process.
We got 2 churches there. Why
Well,
do we need another church?
But that's a local decision.
That's a local decision. That's not a freeholder's decision. The town can, you know.
But you can help,
Well,
We can't. It may be a by right design, actually, in West Hampton. That's up to the governing body and the local planning and zoning authorities. We have absolutely no, the only, is this an existing building or would it be new construction?
No, that was constructed by the hospital there.
It's already there.
It's already.
So they actually have their road opening permits already. They wouldn't, in all likelihood, they wouldn't come to us at all unless they were looking to expand.
As long as this would match local zoning, it's
This
a matter
is-
of pulling a building permit. I mean, that's
Yeah,
not
but
something,
We're gonna put 500 more people there in that road,
But that's up to the West Hampton Township.
or maybe more. That's what I'm concerned about.
understood. It's really, the difficult part is that we're really not the body that can control that. That's controlled by the local boards. I mean, that conversation you would need to have with West Hampton.
But I'm gonna need some help, because you told me one time that I can have a building there because of the traffic. Because I want the state to give me a little piece of land in there, then I can build a building there. And I was informed by this board that
Yeah, but that's state-owned land. Again, that's not us. The state owns, of course, in the Nature Conservancy next to the Legion Hall, right? On the lake. That land's owned by the state of New Jersey.
yeah.
We don't, that's not us either. But this sounds like a private deal. It sounds like a building that's
Yeah.
already in place. I mean, it's up to this is really up to West Hampton Township. I would go to them and talk to them about it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Schick?
Danny Schick, Senior Field Rep for the New Jersey State FOP Labor Council, which represents Burlington County Lodge 166. I'm here tonight because I have a question. Contract negotiations have been going along quite well. We were close, I thought, to have an agreement. As a matter of fact, at one point in time, with county's own numbers, we were 1/10 of a percentage point away from a 3-year agreement. Came out to 6.10%. We were told that we had to get it down below the 6%. Everything was going good, and our last meeting was June 26th. Since that time, something has happened where we have not had any meetings, we have not been able to get any information as requested. In fact, at our last meeting, the county was going to come up with some numbers for us. I was advised that they had the numbers, the spreadsheet, on July 17th, and we still haven't received it. Now, I don't know whether this is as a result of a complaint that was filed with POSHA that was found to be valid, and that complaint was filed in early July, but for whatever reason, contract negotiations have come to a complete standstill. And I'm here to ask if the freeholders would get involved and find a way to get them back on track. I mean, the members are getting very impatient. You know what happened with the last contract, where it went to arbitration and it took years before it was settled. And things had been working well up to June 26th, and all of a sudden, nothing. I mean, emails are not being answered, requesting for information, and I can't believe that it's Mr. San Gennaro that's behind the standstill. He had been working with us quite well, and like I said, it went from progressing to nothing now.
I have a conversation with staff several times a week about where we are in our contract negotiations. And you will be reached out to tomorrow, and we will move this thing forward. There's nothing that's been done at our level is to slow them down. We're looking to get these contracts done. We know they're close. We're close at multiple levels. There's no reason that we aren't moving forward. So if there's a hiccup or there's a problem with our side of it and they're not getting back to you, they will get back to you tomorrow.
I appreciate it.
I can guarantee you that.
Okay, I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Anyone else? Hold on, I'm gonna let him go, then I'll go to you. Sir?
Thank you. Jim Cahan, I'm the Deputy Mayor of Burlington Township. Actually, I came because of H5, which is the shared services. I'm glad to hear it's studied. I hope it doesn't evolve into something that's stressful. Without us looking at it, I think it could have a should say, tremendous impact on townships and its residents. I think a couple areas that you really need to take some, have a great deal of concern about with this type of plan. And I have some familiarity. I know Matthew Clark, it's his Monmouth plan. So I know I do have limited familiarity with the plan. There are some good things in it, but there are also some things that I think are a little of concern for municipalities. I think one thing we need to look at is the potential where the residents' perception of a conflict of interest. As it becomes more of a county-run assessment program, it's basically the first line of appeal is to the county. So the very body that would now be, quote unquote, in control of assessment is now the body that you go to appeal. So you're basically appealing the person from a resident's perspective, appealing to the body that has set the rate. Not a very attractive feature of that program. And I think something that has concern. I think something that's also, if you go down to Gloucester County, you'll find that that's raised a lot of concerns down there. A lot of people really don't like that. So I think that's something that really has to be looked at very hard. The other area that I would say has to be looked at, obviously, is pay. How is this going to affect the municipalities and their budgets? I mean, obviously, if you're doing it on a countywide basis, I would assume you're looking to cut costs. But that's not always the way things turn out. And I think also municipalities will have some problems with loss of control. So I think those are three things.
Loss of control how, Jim?
Well, right now, well, for instance, if anybody when they come to our town hall, they come to our assessor, they ask questions. If our assessor has a difficulty or a problem, she will come to the body or he will come to the body. And so, to a certain degree, the town is involved and the town gets the questions initially. So there is essentially, once you remove it to another larger body, there is a control. There is a perceived loss of control.
Because you'll still be setting your own assessments.
Oh, I know we will. I understand. I know it's, like I said.
Okay, just so I'm clear, but I want everybody else to know. The county's not setting your assessed values, even under this plan.
I understand. I got some, but it's the perception goes a far way to influence how things work and function and how people perceive them. I'm more concerned with how residents perceive this than I am with and how it affects residents and their actions with us and our interactions with the municipality. So I think that's something, probably wouldn't be a bad idea to have the municipality involved in the committee if that is acceptable. I would think some representation from the municipalities would be a good idea. Okay. By the way, I appreciated the Centerton Bridge, excuse me for diverting, but the Centerton Bridge comment says I grew up in Centerton and my father learned how to swim by being thrown off the Centerton Bridge by his brothers, and I polished my swimming skills by jumping off of that bridge. So, thank you.
Anyone else?
Mr. Philbrick, this isn't necessarily a public comment. I speak as an employee of the county. But I always strive to make sure that the Board of Freeholders has accurate and timely information. And I just need to make a couple comments. First, I think it was very good the gentleman who spoke last did speak, because I think it helps exemplify some of the confusion that is out there with regard to the pilot program. The pilot program that has been out there being circulated for probably the better part of a year. And it's a pilot program that the assessors are intimately familiar with, tax board is intimately familiar with. I think it just goes to show that the county does need some assistance in making sure that confusion is in fact not out there with the municipalities, with the constituents, and really show the true benefits of the pilot program, especially as compared to the other pilot programs going on in our county. But there was a statement made by Mr. Alderson that was particularly concerning to me, and I wanted to go to my emails just to check to make sure that you had accurate information. And that I got a copy of an email that apparently Mr. Albertson sent to 50 people. I think that they were the assessors as well as our tax assessment board, that shows that on, if I'm reading correctly, that on April 23rd, that the board did in fact take action. So I'm kind of confused and concerned about it, and I thought it'd be helpful to the board if Mr. Alves could potentially clear this matter up this evening, as I was told that it was more of a housekeeping item that's on before his group next week in terms of a resolution, but that they did in fact, as was evidenced by this email, that they did in fact approve participation in the demonstration program and for implementation in 2016 tax year. So I think it'd be helpful to try to get that clarified so that it will make the meeting with Matt Clark, I think, a little bit more pertinent and meaningful.
Thank you.
Moving on to the Freeholders. Any progress of the parking lot on Maple Avenue and anything under zone by Freeholders? Had anything to do on it, like what's there?
On Maple Avenue
Yeah.
in Hainesport Township?
No, right here, going towards Adam Trafford. It's the first, when you come from my high bypass, that's the first street called Maple Avenue, I think so.
Yeah, that's in Hainesport. It's the old public highway yard in Hainesport.
No, it's not in Hainesport.
I'm not quite sure then where you're talking. I'm not quite sure where you're talking about.
There's no plans. The engineer and our
No, they're
attorney.
not quite, it's gotta be the one, it's gotta be the old yard in Hainesport. And that's going under, that's under an environmental remediation
That's what
right now.
seems to be with Adam Trafford, the moving company. It's the same street.
You turn off the bypass, you take the first right, Maple Avenue. There's an old highway garage, the prosecutor had facilities there, who else had, was it? That was it, we had prosecutor was there and highway department was there for decades.
There's a moving company, you're saying?
Yeah, Adam Trafford moving company.
There may have been a moving man there too.
No, there's a.
Oh, material.
There's a mill, you know, that there's when you go, you know, from the bypass.
Yeah.
You turn to go to Mahali, and you turn to the right.
That's Hainesport. That's the old public works, highway department yard in Hainesport. That's going under environmental remediation right
Just
now.
about, that's where it's going.
Yeah, you gotta go up, there's a road that goes up into it, it's fenced in. Couple old brick buildings in the back.
Right next to the cemetery. I mean,
Oh, yes.
that's Hainesport. That's Hainesport, and no, we have no plans, yeah.
Who owned that?
The county does, yes.
And then you can't sell it, or?
Selling it? No, we're going through an environmental remediation now that's going to take several years. Once that's complete, we'll, evaluate the usefulness of the property.
The environmental remediation is to clean it up?
Oh, okay, I just want to know that, and, tomorrow's a special day, September 11th, I hope I can see the, Freeholder, in my hobby about 9 o'clock, man. Have they had anything for, like, where you live, East Township, or you can go around to East Town on?
Emergency Services Training Center, tomorrow evening at 6:30 is doing a dedication of a piece of World Trade Center steel. So,
At 6:30 night or 6 in the
in
morning?
the evening.
Oh, evening, okay.
Yeah.
And, like I said, probably the lights in the bypass, you see, so I like to see the resident of my house where I live, we like to see, the new house being built before Christmas. And, I love coming here and good luck to Amy Roygood. I like the videos, the campaign, doing a great job. And I'm just curious, what happened to your co-freeholder?
Joe has some health issues that he's dealing with right now.
Oh, okay, I'm just curious, I hope he's okay. And one last thing, the freeholder that goes to different counties, to different towns, you move your freeholder to, what's the status?
We're in the process of talking about what we were looking to do going into the end of the year and next year, of how we would like to move around, and what type of processes we're going to do.
And one last thing, what's the progress for the September 1st the single stream. Do you have any update report? It's been 10 days.
We've, I guess we probably have a very large portion of the dumpsters, the new containers out to the communities. We're already in the process of picking up single stream in a lot of our towns right now. So it's been a very, very successful rollout.
We're going to have a first progress, first report.
Well, you will. I mean, but right now the progress is that we have the majority of our containers out. We're picking up single stream as tomorrow, and every town that their cycle comes up, they'll be picking it up. And we'll have reports on our tonnage and things like that as time moves forward. But so far, so good. If anybody needs another dumpster, if they forgot 609-499-1001, they'll put you on the list and they'll get one out to your house. So.
But our best timing on this is going to be about 6 months out, because we're confident that participation rates are going to go up, but it's going to take a while for us to see that. And I want to see where the number is, the baseline being August to, February, to see where the participation rates are.
One last thing. Do you have any shared service with local power, please, on director freeholder from Candy County? Any shared services?
I don't know if we have any direct with Camden County. We do with a lot of our municipalities. I mean, we have shared services with the state. We have shared service with our towns. We have shared service with Gloucester. We have shared service with Atlantic County. I'm sure through some of our departments we do have shared services with Camden. But I know the main ones that we have. We look for any shared service we can find in Burlington County if it could save the taxpayers dollars.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? Seeing no one, we'll move comment to Freeholders. Freeholder Bellegarde.
I don't have much tonight other than to publicly extend my best wishes to Freeholder Howarth and a quick recovery.
Freeholder Schwartz.
Yes, last night I attended an event out at the base, which was for community leaders to meet the commanders and get an overview of what's going on in the base. Again, I'm glad I went. I saw former freeholder Leo Ardo was there, a lot of familiar faces. Walt Taft was there, and I just want to emphasize how important it is that we save that base, and I know everybody's been gearing up and working hard for that. Also, I won't be at the next freeholder meeting. That's the first night of Rosh Hashanah, so I will be missing the next meeting.
Thank you. Freeholder Donlin.
I've covered most of everything. I mean, obviously, all of our best wishes to Joe Howarth. He has served and will continue to serve this board well. I had the opportunity to speak to him this afternoon. He's hanging in there, man. He's doing pretty well. I would not be surprised if he's back for our next meeting. He's a fighter. Also, as I mentioned earlier, and Lewis had mentioned, brought it up quite well, tomorrow is September 11th. There are a lot of opportunities for us throughout our towns, county, and state to participate and to remember those events. Some will be 13 years ago, on September 11th. So I'd encourage everyone, if you have the opportunity, to do so.
I'll be real quick. Just on with September 11th coming up, one thing that we can do, I mean, in remembrance, is to try to give some back to our community. Help your neighbors, help your church, help your towns, and maybe give 15 minutes back to try to make a difference in your community, just as a positive. Something very positive can come out of something that was that negative with a lot of those difficult times that people have gone through. So at this point, I look for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Motion by Freeholder Schwartz, second.
Second.
Second by Freeholder Bellegarde. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes got it.